Oh.
Hey, say hi to Greg, everybody.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
I keep playing. I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for some time.
Vegan.
That's in the fairway.
It's on the 9th fairway.
I have a shot. All right, there's Francis up on the 9th fairway, coming into the number 1 green. I don't think that's how they drew it up when they put together the course guide. So we're getting creative.
Oh, I thought I seen the ball from this way. It must have been the friggin' top of the stake.
This is Francis taking out OB stakes just for good measure.
Yeah.
You should hold it in your hand.
Took the whole top of the steak off with my drive.
Here, this is Tom has to tell a story about Francis. What they did to his golf bag.
We were getting ready to tee off on this hole on the first tee, on the 3rd tee there, and Francis forgot his. He just realized he was losing his. He'd lost his, left his head cover for his putter back on the first green. So he walked all the way back down the 2nd fairway. There's nobody behind us to get his Scotty Cameron head cover. And so while he was gone, Dave and I pulled all the golf balls out of his bag because Francis was notorious for losing balls in the rough and stuff. So we figured it'd just be a matter of time and he'd have to look in there and find another ball. He never lost another ball the entire round. We found every one of them that he hit in the rough. We had to explain it to him why we were laughing so hard the whole round when we got there, and then he couldn't stop laughing. So it was pretty funny.
Oh, the hot flash story.
So we were out here one day, we were talking about the weather being a little bit cool, and Francis out of the blue, for some reason, I don't know where he came up, but he said, yeah, I was in bed last night and I just leaned over and I said, honey, could you conjure up a hot flash? I'm a little chilly tonight. Was replacing our floor. We did all of our wood flooring. And so when she got done, one day she said, would you mind not peeing on the floor in there, or dribbling on the floor? And Francis said, well, my wife makes me sit down.
Yeah, we never let him live that one down. We gave him a bunch of grief about that one.
And I did eat a really nice ribeye steak last night in honor of Francis. I barbecued it.
And someone said, how do you know how much they weigh? I said, that's easy, it's algebra.
I didn't think Francis was
And it's always funnier when it happens the first time. When you're telling the second time, it's never quite as funny. But
oh, it was hilarious.
Like eating the steaks reminds me of the time we were over at Eagle Crest. I mean, Francis is always joking and goof around, and Jay was barbecuing ribeye steaks. We went to Costco, and it was probably the biggest slab of meat I've ever seen. As soon as that piece of meat is laid down in front of Francis, he sits down, devours thing. He doesn't say a peep for about 30 minutes. He ate the whole thing. Nobody else could eat more than half of theirs. I think it's probably the first time in Francis' life where he hasn't talked for 30 minutes since he came out of his mother's womb. Okay.
okay, so we're here on this hole, and Tom is a little bit behind Francis's ball.
In front of it.
I mean,
Between him and the
oh
ball.
yeah, that's right. No, you were.
He had the longer putt. I had the shorter
That's
putt.
I just-
Oh no, you're right.
I
You're right.
thought-
I had the longer putt.
Okay. Maybe Tom should tell the story.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, Tom is behind Francis's ball, and Tom says, you know, Francis, you might want to come and take a look at this line. He goes, no, I've seen you putt before. So he didn't watch his line.
Francis could be shooting 30 over par, but if he could hit a ball like Greg just hit, where it could spin back, he got a great enjoyment out. He thought that was just a great shot, that he could actually spin the ball back. Of course, he used those Titleist balls, and
I said, Francis, why do you want to make it go shorter? You don't need to hit it shorter, you need to hit it longer.
He was shorter. So we're out here one day, and Francis is right up here on top of one of these hills right here. And after his first shot, so he takes out a hybrid club, about a 5 hybrid, I think, and he hits it. He hits it so hard that he knocks it clear over the fence, lands halfway up the driveway toward, halfway up the street to the first driveway, way up there. How in the world? Couldn't believe he hit the ball that far. How did you do that? And he said, me play golf.
What's the story?
Oh, a story had nothing to do with Francis, but one of Francis's favorite stories about Dave. So Dave and I and somebody else were playing out here. Matt Long was playing out here one day, and it was kind of drizzly and rainy, and Dave was having a bad day, and I don't know, he took like a 6 or a 7 on this number 16 over here. And he was a little disgusted, and he gave his cart a big shove. He come down the hill, made a right turn, or left turn right into the pond. So Matt goes running down it, he grabs it and he pulls it back out of there and stands it up. The water's just pouring out of the bag. The little fishes are jumping out of it and everything. Seaweed all over it and everything, and Dave was just totally disgusted. Oh, I'm gonna quit. This is, well, why don't you, everything was all wet anyway, why don't you just put your rain gloves on and let's finish. So he wound up parring the last 2 holes. So you should have put your rain gloves on a long time. You should have dumped your clubs in the lake a long time ago.
Well, we had,
Francis really liked that story.
we had 2 years ago at Versada Ranch. Francis comes walking in. First thing he says, "Hey, Craig, what's up?" He goes, "I got big news for you." He goes, "I'm now a vegetarian."
That one
I go, Francis, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So that night at dinner, what's the order? A ribeye steak. I go, "What happened to being a vegetarian?" He goes, "That's been temporarily suspended for at least the next 24 hours.
Well, the cow is a vegetarian, right?
Oh, that was a good one. Francis is a vegetarian.